Hello everyone, I'm Heather. It is the 26th day of Shorty September. And we're on our 28th book because we're killing it, okay? The book for today is Dracula's Guest by Bram Stoker. It's like the last chapter of Dracula, and it was published posthumously by his wife, I think in like 1914. Okay, I read about it last night and I'm about halfway through at the minute. Currently he's in Europe, so he goes, this like English guy, he goes to visit Dracula, or like he goes to Europe and he's a guest of this like great lord Dracula in his castle. And at the moment he's sort of just walking about, sort of like rambling, exploring the sort of grounds around, and he's got like a driver, and the driver is like, I guess, just a local person, and he's really skittish about sort of the lands around. There's like a grave at the side of the road. It's like a suicide grave, something about crossroads and suicides. And he's really skittish about that, and his horses are really skittish about it. And the English guy, he wants to go on to this village that was abandoned a couple hundred years ago. And the guy's like, no, you can't go there. The reason it was abandoned is because they had this thing where they found a bunch of like graves, where they opened up the graves and the people inside were like fresh faced and preserved and like with blood in their mouths, you know, so they had to abandon the village. But he's like, oh, the pish and nonsense, you know, like really like 19th century English, like these silly Europeans and their silly superstitions. So he's gone for a wander on his own because the other guy's fucked right off. He's like, you want to die? Go ahead and die. I'm not for that life, mate. I can tell already it's going to be really small, so I'm probably actually going to finish it quite easily. Maybe I'll read a second book as well. I don't know, like I didn't realize how short it was, like really short. But it's kind of making me want to read Dracula again, because that book was banging. Okay, also, I said a bit about this yesterday. There's this place in England called Whitby, which is where Dracula is set for part of the time, and it's sort of near up where my in-laws live, and I desperately want to go there, but it's a bit too far out the way, you know? So they live in Doncaster, and it'd be like a train, and then like another train, and then it'd be like, it's sort of like out the way, it's not easy to get to, but it's got like this old like ruin of a cathedral thing with like all these steps, and it's like really seasidey, like 19th century British seasidey. I desperately want to go there. Maybe I will try to go there soon, like October. I wonder if October would be like a really good time to go. I don't know. Anyway, brain thoughts I'm having. Okay, I have to go to work. Let's go.
You haven't got no sense of humour either.
Okay, I have to now go running, okay? Get back, shower, change, go out again, because my friend got an extra ticket for the theatre for this like Queen's like drag queen thing. She was like, do you want to go? And I was like, oh, don't really have time. Fuck it, let's do it. We always do it. Always say yes. It sounds weird as hell. I'm down. Also, I have to clean due to a dude coming. Also, my mom coming like the next day after that. Like, I have a load of crap to do and not enough time to do it in. So it's good that I've already finished my book. And I'll tell you that in a minute. We'll talk. We'll talk in a minute. Okay, Dracula's Guest. We have finished that shit, and it was very short. Like, they were not messing around when they called it Dracula's Missing Chapter or whatever. It was basically just a chapter of a book. Like, it was 60 pages long. It was nothing. But I enjoyed it. Like, it didn't really add anything to the story as I know it for Dracula. All it did was sort of, like, relay the vibe. Like, get me back into the vibe so that I want to read Dracula again. Do you know what I mean? So, like, if you've read Dracula before and like you've just read it or you're gonna read it, I would say read it in conjunction with that. Or also they have this other publishing of this Dracula's Guest story, which is with other stories. So it's like Dracula's Guest and other stories. I think I would say do that, because with this just on its own, it was a bit lank. But this like the story itself, I'm gonna go 4 stars because it did have the same Dracula vibe. Clearly, you know, like I was into it. I enjoyed it. Okay, tomorrow's book. Are you ready? Where'd it go? I've lost it. We're gonna go with Becky Chambers, To Be Taught If Fortunate. I've also read just a tiny bit of this, and I'm enjoying it so far. So this woman is in space. She's like part of this research team on this like previously unexplored planet. Like people have never been there before. And it takes 28 years for a person to get there. So they've got to go into like, you know, hypersleep or whatever, like be put under for like all that 28 years. And in that time, they only age 2 years. But then all information that they send home, sort of like via satellite or whatever the hell, takes 14 years to get there. So like all of their family and everything, like it took them 28 years to get there. And then they're going to be there and then send a message back saying they got there. And it's going to take 14 years to get back. Like their like families are going to be sort of like grown and sort of dead and everything by the time sort of words get back. But I don't know what the story's about. Like I don't know what eventually happens, but that's like the setup and that's where we are at the minute. Okay, first things first. First step now, running. Run now. That's next. Done that. Next thing, get ready to go to the theater. Did you know in Japan you can get donuts filled with ramen noodles? That's my... I met this kid in university once. He used to make sandwiches out of dry ramen, you know, like the packs of them. He'd sort of like do a bread, and then that, and then a bread. And I tried it once and it wasn't bad. That's all. Donuts though, it's like a sweetness factor, like it wouldn't work. Shit. That's done. Next step is to actually fucking get there really late, because I'm leaving late, like hella late. I'm dropping stuff.
3 knives and a fish scaler you'd never use. That is how I feel every single time we set up our surface labs. Storage space is at a premium in any spacecraft, and being able to fully kit out multi-purpose research facilities obviously requires a lot of stuff.
Oh, I feel like I have 10 out of 10. Yeah, and I never understood why there's all this.
How many Jaeger bombs? You're going to be down there after tonight's show. Do us a little favour, babes.
Okay, if you made this far, thanks for watching. Any thoughts, comments? Keep me updated on your Shorty September, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.